going to be talking about one of my favorite things, ice bathing.
Yes, so this is going to be an exciting topic. Be sure to like and hit that subscribe button to Life in a Salad for more and more updates.
Yes, we'd love to know what you think about our videos. So today, like I said, we're going to be talking about ice bathing. The question is, what is that? And when I heard it, I always thought about a polar bear plunge, like people that run out.
The polar plunge, that was a really popular trend a lot of people were doing just for, I think, shock tactics for a little while.
Right. I mean, it still happens every year.
Oh,
Some
sure.
people have a goal to go do it.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was crazy. But now I actually ice bath pretty regularly.
And what is regularly?
So it used to be 3 times a week at least. Now I'm down to once a week about.
Still a consistent basis though.
Yeah. So some of it's due to pregnancy. I don't want to scare him too much.
No, and she does pretty cold ice baths, so
yeah, it's about I think 42 or 43 degrees in there. And that might not sound like that cold because if you went to somewhere, I don't know, another city or state that you heard the weather is 43 degrees.
It doesn't sound that cold just to go walk outdoors, but it's a whole nother story when you are going into water that is 42 degrees. It's really, really cold.
You feel like you're dying. Like I feel like I'm dying when I wait long periods to get in. When I was doing it 3, sometimes 4 times a week, it was more tolerable. You get used to it. It's almost like your mind goes numb. Yeah. I mean, your whole body does, but even your mind, you're like, I can't even think anymore.
I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've done an ice bath fully submerged exactly, but I've definitely visited the Pacific Ocean, and for all who know, if you're going there, especially if it's maybe winter, I haven't done any winter time plunges in the Pacific Ocean, but I think I've gone as late as maybe November, maybe February, March. It's pretty intense. It's very, very cold. So I've done that. And I do remember when I was younger, many, many years ago, I had the wonderful experience of getting shin splints, just wasn't doing the right, I guess, techniques or warm-ups or whatnot. So I got those, and it was just like a popular thing for all of us to huddle around who were all getting shin splints at the same time on the team, and we would do ice baths for just like our legs. So pretty much our calves down up to our knee, and we would have this giant bucket full of ice and water, and it was so intense. That's probably kind of how yours feels on a regular basis.
Yes. And what I have is a freezer outside. When my husband and I bought it, they asked why we needed a freezer that big, because it's just the two of us. And he told the salesperson that we were going to put a body in it. I mean, we literally are, but not a dead one. So that was fun buying that. But
and you have neighbors above you, so I'm sure that's kind of interesting. They're just like
they look over,
looking underneath.
They look over their balcony and
someone's just hanging out in a freezer in the backyard.
Honest. But with that being said, there's several things you can do. You don't have to necessarily buy a freezer.
No, they have actual specific ice baths that you can get. I think this was a more affordable option, so you can do it definitely.
I mean, it just depends what your budget is. The freezer was still very expensive. But yeah, you can buy one that's already made, because it's not like we just bought a freezer and dumped some water in it. There's more to it. You can watch YouTube videos. That's what my husband and I did, and we were able to make our own, or he did it, I should say. I'll give him the credit.
That's nice. Thanks, Zach.
Basically, yes, thank you, Zach. Basically, what you can do is if you live in a colder climate or it is colder weather, as many of you know, if you jump in just cold shower, you're going to be freezing. If you get in a cold bathtub, you're going to be freezing. And so you don't necessarily have to run out and get a freezer or buy like a legit ice bath offline, because there are companies that do make them. But basically, the whole premise behind this is that you're putting your body into almost like a state of shock for a few minutes, and it stresses out your body enough. So whatever that temp is, there's no right or wrong temperature to necessarily have. It's kind of what you've adapted to and what your body's used to.
So what feels like a shock to your body.
Right, and then doing a lower temperature. And some people have goals to work way far down. I know I worked with a health coach personally who I think was doing like 33 degrees in his ice bath, which I can't imagine because I was like 10 above that. So it really is a lot. But it could be as simple as just like adding 30 seconds at the end of your shower, and you could see results with that of whatever you're looking for. And with that being said, some of the benefits, it's like, why would you do this to yourself? Yeah, so some of the benefits to this is it's been proven that it does lower inflammation.
Yeah.
I know when I get out of it, I feel like I have better mental clarity, I'm more enthusiastic, and I feel like I have so much energy. Like, there have been days when I've been like, oh, I'm so tired, and Zach said, when are you getting an ice bath? I'm like, I don't want to get in there, I'm tired. But when you get out, you just feel so amazing, almost like rejuvenated.
This kind of reminds me of when we were growing up. I have never been a morning person as far as I'm aware, especially not as a child. And my mom would have to like tug me out of bed, and sometimes she would get like a glass of like cold water and throw it on me, which sounds so terrible and so sad. But you know what? It totally woke me up. I was alert.
I don't think it sounds sad.
It's one of the, that is one way to fully wake your body up and,
yes,
increase that alertness. So,
right. So it definitely has some benefits. I know when I first started it, I started watching videos of like testimonials of people who've done it. And there was one lady, like, she had leg surgery and had severe pain after chronic pain every single day. She lived in a country that was naturally cold most of the year. And so she lived out by a lake, and she started getting in this lake every morning and swimming in it. And it had ice in it. Like, she would plunge into the lake, like under the ice, and stay under there and swim around, or even just she started just putting a leg in, but she claimed that her leg pain went away, like, after days and days of doing this. I think even like months later, she was like, I'm pain free at this point. So
wow.
There's definitely some benefits to it. And obviously, if you're playing sports or like doing heavy training, they always say, like, yeah, ice your leg or your
It's going to reduce inflammation, especially if you've maybe overtrained a little bit, as some of us do from time to time. Your body really should start to be recovering. You shouldn't have lingering soreness more than around 24 hours after that activity or exercise. If it's just a lot of pain and soreness lasting past that, that's a good sign that you may have overdone it, and it's a great idea just to, do an ice bath, jump in the shower, get as cold a water as you can, fill up that bathtub with ice. Do it that way. Any of those above options can be very beneficial.
Right. So that could be so good for your muscles. And then on top of that, if you're like, yeah, I want to do the ice bath or put ice cubes in your own bathtub and just make the water cold, it just has so much benefit to it, not just with your muscles, but your whole internal organs and your cells and everything, how it functions. So there's a pretty famous scientist. He also has his own podcast. Dr. Andrew Huberman is a neuroscientist, and he's a big promoter of ice bathing, and his recommendation is to get 12 minutes a week. So it's not 12 minutes in one session necessarily. I mean, to each of their own, but you can kind of spread that out and kind of just like equal it out through the week. But he has done studies that I guess that is the most beneficial way to get it. Right.
Well, and if you break it down, if you're doing it 6 days a week, that's only 2-minute sessions. So if you're thinking even just the end of your shower, putting it all the way down to that coldest setting, can be very beneficial for your skin and your hair too. A lot of us have always heard about rinsing, our hair at the end of the shower with cool water. So some positive benefits, easy way to do it then. If you want to do it a little bit longer, maybe 3-minute sessions for 4 days a week.
Right.
Just quick amount to get it done.
And there have been studies done on this with mice that had cancer, they had started putting in cooler temperatures. They're actually pretty cold, I think, for the mice.
Yeah.
And what they noticed is that the mice started forming more brown fat. Well, what's brown fat? It is the most healthy fat you can have if you're going to have fat. And so this brown fat utilizes more sugar. And so if you're eating carbs and sugar, it utilizes more of that. Carbs and sugar help feed cancer cells. And so these mice had significantly less cancer cells. And so it's not necessarily proven at this point, but there's definitely a correlation that they're showing that doing ice baths or just colder temperatures could help reduce cancer cells for people who have cancer. I mean, we all have cancer cells, but...
And because we do all have cancer cells, more to that, not just if you have cancer, but as a preventative measure to help prevent, getting different forms of cancer as well.
Right. Yeah, so it's just so good for you. What got me into it is my own little health story.
Yeah.
I got super sick a couple years ago, and it has taken me months to get better. I had a terrible GI issue going on that led to fatigue, headaches. I felt like I had the flu for months, and I thought I was never going to get over it. I was desperate at this point. I looked into everything.
You met
But
with all kinds of different doctors, specialists, naturopaths,
I flew to Oregon
coaches.
to go see a doctor that I thought could cure me. And with every single one, I did make progress. But something that one of my health coaches recommended was doing ice bathing. And then I looked into Wim Hof. He's actually from the Netherlands, and he is huge into cold submersion, weather, being outside in the cold, hiking
Yeah.
in the cold, shirtless. So um,
It's very interesting. It kind of intrigued you a little bit.
yeah, if any of you are looking for someone good to watch on deep breathing or just how to do the whole cold plunge,
He has some amazing videos out there and
yes.
just guidance to guide you through it. So I think you've done it regularly. I've tried it out as well, and it's really great.
Right, and it just depends like where you're at with it. Like personally,
Yeah.
like I want to get in the ice bath and submerge myself. Julian likes to take cold showers when she feels like it, and
Mm-hmm.
so everyone has their own threshold. Some people can't imagine getting in an ice bath, and that's okay. You do what's best for you.
That's okay. You start small though, like we said. So if it's a little bit uncomfortable, so even just maybe you're not going all the way on the coldest end of that shower, but maybe it's just 30 seconds at a time, just a little bit cooler than you're used to. You can ease into it. There are so many really just factors in our environment too that can contribute to inflammatory responses in the body. I know personally I get autoimmune issues with eczema. It kind of runs in our family, and different factors, so including dietary factors, so things that may cause a response to your body, specifically certain food groups, just things that are out in the environment, things that you're using on your body. So it can even be soaps, lotions, things like that. So for me and my skin issues, I actually have noticed a really positive impact with doing, like I said, even for me, the showers, they can be ice baths, but for me, they're more ice showers for the most part. And I noticed the last time I got an outbreak with that, just started doing that more and more regularly. Now I do it after every shower. Um, and it really helped to, for one, to calm that. I mean, if anyone that has eczema or anything like psoriasis, you know that it's super uncomfortable. It's almost like a burning, itching type sensation. It's terrible wherever you might get those spots. And it helped to calm that. And then to eventually help it to be completely reduced. And of course, combining, you want to find out what those triggers are for you. If it is something in the environment, maybe it's stress, just things that are stressing your body out, add in some more of those meditational stress reducing factors, but also the ice baths, the ice showers are fantastic for just really, really helping your body to reduce that inflammation and get rid of it.
Definitely. Yeah, I've definitely seen that in my own life, and I'm just a big promoter of